Authorities in India are scrambling to contain a rare outbreak of Nipah, a virus spread from animals to humans that causes deadly fever with a high mortality rate. Outbreaks are rare, but Nipah has been listed by the World Health Organization (WHO), alongside Ebola, Zika and COVID-19, as one of several diseases deserving of priority research for their potential to cause a global epidemic. Nipah usually spreads to humans from animals or through contaminated food, but it can also be transmitted directly between people. Fruit bats are the natural carriers of the virus and have been identified as the most likely cause of subsequent outbreaks. Symptoms include intense fever, vomiting and a respiratory infection, but severe cases can involve seizures and brain inflammation that results in a coma. There is no vaccine for Nipah. Patients have a mortality rate of between 40 and 75% depending on the public health response to the virus, the WHO says. An infectious diseases expert on Friday urged the public to consult a doctor if they experience both fever and severe headache. You can just imagine if you have an infection that causes inflammation of the brain, it can also affect other functions of the organs, particularly the heart and the lungs, Dr. Rontjean Salante said. Walang antiviral, gamot dito na puwedeng maka save ng life, and that is the reason why mataas ang mortality. At the moment, wala rin tayong bakuna pangontra sa Nipah virus, he said in a televised briefing. Flu, COVID-19, and Nipah can all cause fever. But flu and COVID affect the respiratory tract the most, while Nipah targets the brain region. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka dadaan dun sa pag ubo, hindi ka dadaan sa naramdaman natin kagaya sa COVID na nahirapan huminga, he said. This one is maglainat ka lang, tapos 2 to 3 days humihina na yung sensory mo, and natutulog ka na lang, and that is it. Huminto na yung paghinga mo and yung cardiovascular function, he said. Encephalitis and meningitis, those are fatal. The first Nipah outbreak killed more than 100 people in Malaysia and prompted the culling of 1 million pigs in an effort to contain the virus. It also spread to Singapore, with 11 cases and 1 death among slaughterhouse workers who came into contact with pigs imported from Malaysia. Since then, the disease has mainly been recorded in Bangladesh and India, with both countries reporting their first outbreaks in 2001. Bangladesh has borne the brunt in recent years, with more than 100 people dying of Nipah since 2001. 2 early outbreaks in India killed more than 50 people before they were brought under control. The southern state of Kerala has recorded 2 deaths from Nipah and 4 other confirmed cases since last month. Authorities there have closed some schools and instituted mass testing. This marks Kerala's 4th recorded spate of Nipah cases in 5 years. The virus killed 17 people during the first instance in 2018. The state has managed to stamp out previous outbreaks within a matter of weeks. Through widespread testing and strict isolation of those in contact with patients, having first appeared thousands of years ago, zoonoses, diseases that can be transmitted from animals to humans, have multiplied over the past 20 to 30 years. The growth of international travel has allowed them to spread more quickly. By occupying increasingly large areas of the planet, experts say, humans also contribute to disruption of the ecosystem and increase the likelihood of random virus mutations that are transmissible to humans. Industrial farming increases the risk of pathogens spreading between animals, while deforestation heightens contact between wildlife, domestic animals and humans. By mixing more, species will transmit their viruses more, which will promote the emergence of new diseases potentially transmissible to humans. Climate change will push many animals to flee their ecosystems for more livable lands, a study published by the scientific journal Nature warned in 2022. According to estimates published in the journal Science in 2018, there are 1.7 million unknown viruses in mammals and birds, 540,000 to 850,000 of them with the capacity to infect humans. Diesel and kerosene prices are expected to drop by less than a peso per liter as experts forecast a rollback in prices, the first in nearly 11 weeks. Pump prices, particularly that of diesel and kerosene, saw a spike in prices. since July, as major oil players such as Saudi Arabia and Russia announced production cuts that would last until the end of the year. Diesel and gasoline prices will decrease by P0.20 to P0.40 per litre, while the price of kerosene is estimated to decrease by P0.50 to P0.70 per litre. For the past 11 weeks, diesel prices increased by P17.30 per litre, while kerosene increased by P15.94 per litre. Meanwhile, gasoline prices have increased by P11.85 per litre since July. DOE Oil Management Bureau Chief Rino Abid previously said the pump price hikes could have reached peak saturation, allowing supply to meet demand. It's not just 1 or 2, but 4 personnel of the Office for Transportation Security assigned at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, NIA, who are now being investigated regarding the alleged dollar bill swallowing incident inside the airport. According to the OTS chief, the incident, which happened last September 18, involved $300 that a Chinese traveler reported missing. Interviewed on Radio 630's A Known Ganap program, OTS Administrator Ma Oa Plaska said that their ongoing investigation found signs of collusion among some personnel. Di bar ni report namin nung araw a parang tatlo lang, pero we realized na parang meron pa silang kasabwat dito sa kanilang ginawa. Lahat po NG members NG. Checkpoint, 14 po sila katao. Pero, as of today, ang nakita po NGATINGMGA. Investigador report NG aming investigador, apat pa lang yung nakita naming may involvement, SA incident. Aplaska revealed, we reported that there seemed to be only 3 personnel involved, but we realized that it seems they had another accomplice. All members of the checkpoint, there are 14 of them. But, as of today, our investigator has only seen 4 who may be involved. The 4 are now under preventive suspension, Aplaska said, as he assured them. Due process. Aplaska said OTS was able to review a lot of videos that showed different angles of what may have happened to the $300 that the traveler said was missing from his bag. Dun sa nakita namin namga video ano. By the way, hindi lang yung mga video na nagsi circulate sa social media ang hawak po namin namga video. Marami pa kaming video na review. Abata bang angle po. Nakita po namin na parang meron silang sabwatan with the X-ray operator, Aplaska said. Airport protocol requires putting baggage through an X-ray machine, with manual inspection done if the scan of the contents is unclear. Airport protocol dictated that baggage of travelers would have to be placed under the X-ray machine. But this time po nakita namin na pina ano, subject, near sa manual inspection. Dito sa screener na ito at very unusual po. Kasi dalawa yung lane namin sa checkpoint diyan sa nasabing area. Ito pong babe, hindi po sya naka-assign sa lane na dapat mago conduct ng baggage inspection. Lumapat po sya dun sa kabila. Parang nagsenyasan sila ng X-ray operator, Aplasan said. But this time, the bag was subjected to manual inspection. And it was very unusual because the screener was assigned to a different lane, and she went to that lane. It's like the X-ray operator gave her a signal. Aplaska said the Chinese traveler's bag seems to have been targeted since the screener already had another bag to inspect but left her lane to check the other bag. He also corrected earlier reports that the OTS supervisor, also under investigation, had handed the screener water to help her swallow the alleged bills. The water was actually handed over by another person acting on the supervisor's instructions. The OTS chief said the agency has also seen a seeming pattern to discourage passengers from filing formal complaints. Ang sagat kagad sir, kung willing ba kayong makante. Baka maiwanan po. Kong flight nyo. Yun po ang parang normal na naririnig mga pasaherong gustong mag-complain. Saray big sabihin, dini discourage niling mag-complain ang mga pasahero. What they say is, sir, are you willing to wait? You might be left behind by your flight. That is what passengers who want to complain are normally told. So, that means they are discouraging passengers from complaining. He said that when the OTS investigates incidents, personnel sometimes point out that the complainant has left the country and there is no longer any reason for a probe. Aplaska stressed all filed complaints are still being investigated, regardless if the complainant is still in the county or not. Aplaska assured the public that the OTS is also investigating other cases or complaints that they have received. Abata bang grupo po ito. May Nikita po kami na general pattern na halos. Per pareho po ang style ng kanilang panyanakor. Hindi naman po ganon kadami. Yan. Kasi tatlong shifts po yung aming rotation ng kanilang trabaho sa Manila International Airport, Aplaska said. These are different groups. We have seen a general pattern of similar styles. In stealing from travelers. There aren't a lot of them. We only have 3 shifts on rotation at the Manila International Airport. Aplaska said, senior and veteran OTS personnel are angry at what some of their younger personnel are doing. He said he is confident that the investigations will be wrapped up by next week. Adding results will be made public. He said that the investigation covers incidents years ago and also encouraged the public to tell OTS if they have experienced similar incidents. While not justifying the alleged wrongdoing by some of their personnel, Aplaska said that entry-level compensation at OTS is just P16,000. And out of the almost 3,000 OTS personnel, only 300 are regular employees. The rest are on a contractual or job contract status. OTS leadership is trying to address these issues through the help of the Department of Transportation and the Department of Budget and Management, Aplaska said. Local officials in Batangas are studying placing the province under a state of emergency as towns deal with the thick volcanic smog, or VOG, from Taal volcano. Vice Governor Mark Leviste said Saturday. Leviste said the state of emergency would help local government tap into their disaster and emergency funds. Ito ay pag-aralan pa lamang, state of emergency, kung ano ang magiging recommendation ng abata bang ahensya ng gobyerno from national government agencies to provincial offices, yun ang aming pangangalagaan, Leviste said over Tele-Radio Servicio. We are still studying this based on what agencies, from national government agencies and provincial offices, will recommend. Pati yung cancellation of classes at pagbabalik ng online learning at modular learning, inisip, pansamantala habang tayo ay naka state of emergency, he added. Even the cancellation of classes and the return to online learning and modular learning is being considered while under a state of emergency. So far, the official said several residents in many parts of the province have reported inhaling the volcanic smog, causing discomfort in their lungs. Ilang estudiante at kibaruyaw na nahihirapan huminga. Tinugunan ng Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, at nagbigay ng immediate intervention nebulizers, pulse oximeter to determine the oxygen saturation, he said. Some students and youth have reported difficulty in breathing. The DRRMO addressed this and gave immediate intervention. Officials there, he said, will still wait for the report of science agencies and disaster monitoring and response units before making any decisions. Local governments, however, have the power to suspend classes and call for evacuation if they deem necessary, he said. Ayokong mag-anticipate ng situation dahil ito ay magdala ng unnecessary panic sa ating kababayan. Hintayin na lang natin yung pag-ulat at latest data, he said. I don't want to anticipate the situation because that will bring unnecessary panic. Let's just wait for updates and the latest data. Calabarzon's Office of Civil Defense, OCD, on Friday said they are monitoring the potential increase in Taal volcano's sulfur emissions. OCD Calabarzon's operations chief Randy de la Paz said some illnesses have been recorded linked to the inhalation of the Taal volcanic smog. He did not elaborate. The VOG has persisted in parts of Batangas for the past 2 to 3 weeks, de la Paz said. Based on its most recent VOG advisory posted on Thursday afternoon, Fivolks said. Volcanic smog has lingered over the Taal region since the first week of September. Fivolks reminds the public that alert level 1 prevails over Tal volcano, which means that it is still in abnormal condition and should not be interpreted to have ceased unrest nor ceased the threat of eruptive activity, he added. Fivolks chief Teresito Bakulkol, meanwhile, said the haze in Metro Manila and the thick fog in Tal were caused by thermal inversion, which causes particles to be suspended in the air due to the moist and the lack of wind movement. It is important to note, Bakulkol said, that the fog situation has improved around Tal on Saturday morning. He said, however, that it will take years bago to luyang mawala, yung sulfur dioxide kasi as long as the volcano is spewing out sulfur dioxide, the threat of fog is always there. That is why we are telling people living in the Tal volcano, they should always be prepared. A major destructive earthquake hit Seoul, and practically all the buildings in the city have collapsed. The only apartment building left standing was Hwang Gung, so all the surviving residents of neighboring apartments want to seek shelter in it. With the problem of security and food looming ahead, the residents of Hwang Gung met together to organize themselves in the face of this issue. Should they evict outsiders, whom they called cockroaches, or not? When a fire broke out in one of the apartments, a quiet man named Kim Yong-tak Lee Byung-hun took the lead to charge into the burning room to put out the fire. Because of this, the other residents all voted unanimously Yong-tak to be their leader, giving him the honorific title of Mr. Delegate. Yong-tak chose a young public servant named Min Sung, Park Seo-jun, as his right hand, to the dismay of Min Sung's nurse wife Myung-hwa, Park Bo-young. The earthquake was of a magnitude deadly enough to level a modern city like Seoul, and the special visual and sound effects certainly delivered the goods in this aspect. The chaotic post-apocalyptic landscape made for an ominous backdrop for the human drama unfolding. There are widely shot scenes of mass destruction that evoke agoraphobia or acrophobia, as there were several tightly shot scenes of narrow crawl spaces that provoke claustrophobia. The ambiguous questions of ethics and problematic moral decisions of the survivors make this an intensely thought-provoking watch. We identify with Min Sung as he was caught between the fanaticism of Yong-tak and the compassion of Myung-hwa. We've seen survival movies before, but as written and directed by Tae-Hwa, this film was as much as a sociological study and a crime mystery, as it was a psychological drama and a disaster epic. This film was recently named as the entry of South Korea to the race for Best International Film at the next Oscar Awards, which should attract more viewers too. Go check it out. As we await the return of the ABS-CBN ball, we take a look at the style evolution of your favorite Capamilia stars. Check out how Joshua Garcia graced the red carpet over the years.